Hi, my name is Ellie Smith, and I am a third-year interior architecture student. This past summer, I studied abroad in Spain and Portugal with some of my classmates. It was such a cool opportunity to travel all over Southern Europe. We visited many places like Barcelona, Porto, Lisbon, Sevilla, Sintra, Cordoba, Granada, Toledo, and Madrid. I had an amazing experience and gained so much insight into each city's culture and architecture. This brings me to my research question. What makes Spain's architecture and interior design unique, and how do they reflect Spain's culture and influences? Within this, I'll explore how the architecture is deeply intentional and reflects the culture of each city. There are examples like the courtyards in Sevilla, the La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, and the famous tiles of Porto. I've come to appreciate how architecture can be so much more than just a structure. It carries meaning and history behind it. I chose this research question because I realized how much thought and meaning goes into designing these spaces in Spain. In Portugal, you can really see the history in things like the gardens, the Gothic cathedrals, and the modernist buildings like the La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. More than that, there's a strong connection to nature and the local community within these designs. It made me think about how important it is for our designs today to show who we are and where we came from. I was inspired to explore this question because I want to bring that same level of intentionality and cultural sensitivity into my own work. And my goal from this experience is to create designs that are not only functional, but also meaningful and that draw a connection to the communities. The first city we traveled to was Barcelona, and I was blown away from the start. Everything about the city caught me by surprise. I had never seen buildings designed quite like those, and the layout was just so unique. It really made Barcelona stand out, in my opinion. And as we started to walk around the city and tour cathedrals, I started to understand the significance of each one and how these buildings tied into Barcelona's rich culture and history. One of the first buildings we toured was the La Sagrada Familia. I was immediately captivated by the structure itself. As we went on our tour guide explained more of the detail and the meaning behind the design, which made me even more fascinated. The La Sagrada Familia is known as the heart of the city and was designed by Antoni Gaudí, a famous Catalan architect. What makes this basilica stand out from any other church is that it represents Barcelona's creativity and connection to nature. A big part of Catalan culture is the respect for nature, which is evident in Gaudí's design. When you walk inside, the columns look like trees, making you feel like you're walking through a forest. Gaudí believed that nature was the best way to express the divine, and he wanted his buildings to reflect that. Plus, the way the light comes through the stained glass windows changes throughout the day, giving the space an almost spiritual vibe, which just made the experience super special. What impresses me about Gaudí's design is how purposeful it is. He wasn't just trying to create a stunning church. He aimed to craft an experience that connects people to both the spiritual and natural elements. It feels like he wanted to remind everyone who steps through the doors about their roots and the world around them. The La Sagrada Familia is more than just an architectural piece. It's a celebration of what makes Barcelona unique with its creativity and strong bond with nature. After we left Barcelona, we traveled to Porto, located in Portugal. I didn't know what to expect, but at first glance, I was surprised and had never seen anything like it. Porto is very unique with its bright colors, terracotta rooftops, and the city skyline along the river, which adds such a beautiful characteristic to the city. As we toured the city, I noticed all the uniquely designed tiles on the buildings. I learned that Portugal is famous for its distinctive tiles. These tiles carry a lot of meaning. They aren't just for decoration. Many of Porto's buildings, especially churches and public spaces, are covered in these tiles that depict scenes from Portuguese history, religious stories, and everyday life. One of the most famous examples is the railway station, which we visited, and it features a huge mural of tiles telling a story of Portugal's past. The blue and white color palette of these tiles reflect Porto's history, with blue symbolizing the sea and sky, and white symbolizing light and purity. Each tile is hand-painted, showcasing the skill and effort that goes into making them. No two tiles are the same, so there's a personal touch to every piece, making it unique. Plus, these tiles aren't just for decoration. They cover the entire building, so when you walk through the city, you see beautiful artworks all around you. Next, we traveled to Sevilla, which was one of my favorite cities we went to. I loved the places we toured and the overall look of the buildings. Another reason I love Sevilla was its vibrancy and colorful buildings, the pretty gardens, and all the courtyards that we visited. My favorite place we visited was the Royal Alcazar Garden. It was the most beautiful place I'd ever been to. When considering my research question and how Sevilla's architecture and design reflect the city's culture, I think the Royal Alcazar Garden is a perfect example. With Sevilla being known for its rich history and vibrant culture, it showcases a unique architectural feature, which the outdoor garden. A significant aspect of Sevilla's architecture that reflects the city's culture is the courtyard. These open-air courtyards are found in many buildings, especially in traditional homes and churches, highlighting Sevilla's appreciation for nature and community. These patios, deeply rooted in the city's Moorish heritage, reflect Sevilla's connection to nature, community, and the region's climate. One of the coolest things about these courtyards or patios is their Moorish influences. They come from Islamic architecture, where outdoor spaces are important for staying cool and relaxing. You can really see it in the intricate work, the beautiful arches, and all the water features. It's like a piece of history that the Moors left behind in Sevilla's design. And these patios or courtyards often feature orange trees, colorful flowers, and soothing fountains that create a serene atmosphere. It shows how much people here value nature and beauty while emphasizing the importance of having spaces to hang out with family and friends. Plus, on the practical side, these patios are perfect for keeping the indoors cooler during the hot summer months. They provide shade and create a nice microclimate, which is a smart way to deal with the warm weather. These are just a few examples I wanted to share and places that I visited while abroad that I feel best respond to my research question about how each city's architecture and design is unique and how they reflect their culture. From this whole experience and the examples I shared, I can now understand how Southern Europe's architecture is very intentional, not just in terms of functionality, but also in the cultural expression. Whether it's the outdoor courtyards of Sevilla, the spiritual connection to the nature found in Barcelona's La Sagrada Familia, or the storytelling tiles in Porto, architecture goes beyond merely creating spaces. It conveys the stories of the city's people, history, and values. What motivates me as a designer is to bring the same level of intentionality and meaning into my work. I want to create spaces that aren't just practical, but resonate with people who use them, much like these cities have done with their unique architectural elements. Thank you.